It's literally giving me shivers down my spine to think that this is how easy it was for them to access.
But what is shocking, Afrida, is that the Indian Coast Guard, which is supposed to patrol the border, the high seas kind of thing, they had no clue. Each of the terrorists, they had $80 in their pockets. They say we were told by our handlers that you must give this to Indian Coast Guard if you want to cross. What is more shocking is that even today, Mumbai is as vulnerable as it was that day.
Let's not wait for another 26/11. What I take away from what Bala just said is that it's an opportunity for us to rethink where we went wrong. I'm with my senior colleague S. Balakrishnan, executive editor of Free Press Journal, who is going to help us recount that fateful night, that fateful evening of 26/11, on a day when you have one of the key masterminds extradited to India. Bala, tell me the story, and where were you? How did you report the incident? What happened on that day before we come to Tahawwur Rana?
Afrida, it was one of the most sensational thing to have happened, and at that time it was the worst ever urban terror attack in the whole world.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Mumbai had to bear the brunt of that. Where we are standing, it is from here.
Yeah.
If you see Ajmal Kasab and company, they came in a boat from Pakistan, from the Gujarat thing.
We are standing in that exact spot right now.
Exactly, and from here they went to this one Badwar Park, which you can see the railway officer quarters. They got down there. They got a taxi from there, and then they went to through the streets. They went to Shabad house of the Israelis, which nobody knew that there was such a thing, but they knew, and they went to Leopold Cafe, then CST, then GT Hospital. The works.
But this was the entry point, exactly where Bala and me are standing right now, because this is where Free Press House is, and it just overlooks that spot. It's literally giving me shivers down my spine to think that this is how easy it was for them to access.
But what is shocking, Afrida, is that the Indian Coast Guard, which is supposed to patrol the border, the high seas kind of thing, they had no clue.
They had no clue
about this kind of sneaking in. And I had done a report which says that each of the terrorists, they had $80 in their pockets. So when the intelligence bureau asked them, how come all of you are having the same amount? They say we were told by our handlers that you must give this to Indian Coast Guard if you want to cross.
That's it. That's all it took. Only that much money.
That's it kind of thing. So, but still there is no inquiry. Nobody has been held responsible in the Indian Coast Guard as to why they let these people enter. It's a major failure of the Coast Guard, and the city had to pay a very, very extremely heavy price. And see the kind of mayhem that they created.
Yeah.
I have seen photographs of the violence which took place in CST station. Those photographs, my friend Sabi Fernandez shot them. If you see them, your blood will boil.
Yeah, I saw some photographs today, you know, Bala, the front page of Free Press Journal newspaper. I just wanted to revisit that page and what I saw, and I could tell that, you know, people who were on ground, who were reporting, they must have seen all of this firsthand. You were in the city. I was, of course, in Delhi at that time, a little removed. But today, the extradition of Tahawwur Rana, does it give you closure? Do you think, you know, is it full justice to the victims?
It doesn't give closure, because David Headley, who's an equally important mastermind like Tahawwur Rana kind of thing, Americans are not willing to give them. A team from NIA from Delhi had gone to Delhi to US to question him in custody in the presence of FBI. But for some strange reason, the US is not willing to hand over David Headley, even though the incident had the cause of action is in Bombay. Still, they don't want to do that. He is believed to be an asset of the CIA. The CIA had let him, planted him as a mole among the terrorist outfit of Lashkar-e-Taiba and all those things. But the fact is that there is solid evidence of the interaction between Tahawwur Rana and David Headley. Hundreds of calls were made for each other. Every step was coordinated. They used to watch the television and then give instruction to the terrorists. All the records, everything has been tape recorded by the intelligence bureau and RAW kind of thing. But still, despite the mass of evidence, Americans, unless and until David Headley is also extradited to India, I don't think that we will have the closure of this case.
But, you know, it was so meticulously planned, like you said, recce after recce after recce. so many phone calls, and apparently there were quite a few other spots, Siddhi Vinayak Temple and the Kumbh Mela and all, which were there in their radar, which they wanted to target. On a day like this, when you have one, what do you think we'll get out of Tahawwur Rana? Obviously, he'll be interrogated. What do you think will be the next course of action, or rather should be the next course of action?
Tahawwur Rana will be able to give the nitty-gritty of the conspiracy. What happened, because he was obviously working for the ISI. So he'll be able to tell as to who was his handler, which major in the ISI was handling him, how much money was spent on this, how the money was transferred and all that. But more importantly, such a huge operation could not have been implemented without any local collaboration. So who are the people in Mumbai who collaborate with that? Just imagine, I challenge you, you go to Bhaktawar Park and hire a taxi to go to wherever, whichever part of it, you will not get it. But that day when Ajmal Kasaf and company came, a taxi comes well in time to take them to wherever, to further their conspiracy.
So who gave that last mile coverage, the entire network of people?
And number one. Number two, my information is that there was a very notorious oil smuggler called Muhammad Ali, who was their local contact and who gave them the channel, how to come, how to cruise their way over here and where to land, and why here in Bhaktawar, in the Merchants colony. Why not anywhere else, not in Warsaw, anywhere like that? But why? Because it's very easy to bring a boat very close to the coast over here. And from here, Chabad House and all that very close by. 5-10 minutes from here. So like what you rightly mentioned, the meticulousness of the whole thing. So every final detail was planned.
So now Tahawwur Rana would have to sing. He will have to spill the beans. He will have to give the entire plan of action.
Not only that, he'll also say that the Pakistani part
Handlers,
of the whole thing. That will come about. But like what I said earlier, unless and until David Headley is also brought in, we won't be able to complete the picture. We won't be able to cross all the dots.
There's so much chatter online, Bala. There are people saying he should be hanged. There are people saying he should be hanged in front of Taj Palace. There is a lot of anger against this man as well. So, how do you read these reactions?
No, these are emotional response. This is emotional response because it is not only the families of the victims who are demanding that he be hanged outside Taj, Gateway or wherever it is kind of thing, but the enormity of the crime was so huge. Innocent people waiting for trains and all that, they were bumped off kind of thing. Who's going to pay the price for that? So many people who are earning livelihood for the family. There were so many families have been devastated. Even now, Mumbai hasn't forgotten that, and they should not forget. But what is more shocking is that even today, Mumbai is as vulnerable as it was that day.
That was my last question.
Even today, anybody can bring in their boat or
have we learned our lessons, or are we still not systems in
Even
place?
Today, there is one guy called Pandit who is a king of the oil mafia. You tell Pandit, he is bringing in lot of oil smuggling from high seas, ships from Somalia, from Ethiopia. They are coming, they are parked on the high seas. He goes in small boats, he unloads the diesel from there, and then it is sold for a huge profit, and nobody bothers about that.
Let's not wait for another 26/11. What I take away from what Bala just said is that it's an opportunity for us to rethink where we went wrong, get all the evidence, all the material out of Tahawwur Rana, and let's just set systems in place. We don't want another 26/11. We want Mumbai to be a safe city, Bala.
Definitely, yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much.